Are you ready to take your leadership journey to the next level? On the leadership platform TLP, we don't just talk about leadership, we live it. This year, we are bringing you cutting-edge insights, transformative tools, and real-world strategies to help you lead with confidence, purpose, and impact. This year, we have 4 seasons with 50 episodes. We will dive into themes such as leading self, leading others, and leading institutions. We bring you Leaders Are Readers. This monthly session focuses on book reviews, discussions, encouraging all participants to read along with selected books on personal leadership and professional leadership. We also have a time with the CEO. In this segment, we dive into the stories of prominent CEOs who share their insights, lessons learned throughout their leadership journey. We also bring you extraordinary leadership stories, highlighting individuals in our societies who are doing extraordinary things. This segment inspires viewers with real-life examples of leadership in action. We will bring you some brilliant minds, courageous leaders changing the narrative of Africa. We also bring you, finally, the expert-led sessions, which cover a wide range of leadership and personal development topics, providing practical guidance and actionable strategies for personal and professional development. The leadership platform is your go-to space for personal growth, professional breakthroughs, and meaningful connections. I am Joy Bunsu-Schmutz, co-host on TLP, and I will see you every Saturday, 7 p.m. GMT, live on YouTube and Facebook.
Hello, hello, hello. It's great to be back with you again this Saturday to the Leadership Platform. You are all welcome. And this evening, we're going to have another great session. Before I do that, I just want to welcome all of you. And please, in the comments chat, please put in where you're joining us from. I can see the Leadership Platform itself is already here. CTL is here. Let's see those who have just joined us. Tell us who you are and where you are joining us from. Today, I'll be your host. My name is Sarah Jessie Appiah, and I'm joining you from Geneva, Switzerland. In the studio with me is definitely the guest speaker for today, Sam. He will join us later on. But Joy is here with us, Gideon, Vivian, and all the team members who are behind the scenes. If it hadn't been for them, we wouldn't be able to have this. And I just want to acknowledge them for the great work that they are doing. So this evening, what are we going to talk about? Before I do that, we have a few announcements that Joy or Sam will let us know. But this evening, for the first 40 minutes or so, Sam will be sharing the summary of our segment for today, which is Leaders Are Readers, and the book that we have all encouraged everybody to read is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. So without much ado, let me have Sam join me, and then we will introduce him. He is the brain behind the Leadership Platform. So for those of us joining us for the first time, just a bit background about Sam, which I'll have him share himself. So Sam, who are you? For the new people who are joining us, introduce yourself.
Who am I? I am Sam, and I'm me. Anyway, so there's an interesting question, especially if you just finished reading Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now,
Mm-hmm.
where there's this distinction between you and yourself and the self,
Yeah,
and where we create an ego of who we are based on attachments to our history, our qualifications, our achievements, and
exactly.
we say that's who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Minister, accountant, and whatever. And
Yeah.
actually, you're not that. It's
Yes,
your
give us your
essence.
identity now. Now that you have been enlightened by Eckhart Tolle, how would,
You know,
how would you
yeah.
describe yourself?
It's my essence. It's my God creation, my God's gift into this world, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm part of the creative force that God has brought to make the world better. And in that sense, I am part of God's agency to help people, you know, unearth the power within them,
Wow.
unearth all the talents that God has invested in them. And my purpose is to awaken the giant within them. So that part of co-creating with God, the qualities that God has invested in each one of us to be able to develop our world and make it a better place. So in essence, that's who I am. But if you come to the attachments, I'm a leadership coach, I'm a trainer, I'm a teacher, and I serve through CTL Africa Leadership, where I work with a team to bring the leadership platform and many other training, leadership development to organizations and to individuals and so on. So that's what I do.
Great. Thank you so much, Sam, for that. And with this introduction of Sam, you can all see that we're just going to have an interesting summary that he will take us through, because this has even help him define in himself in a different way. So without much ado, Sam, I hand over to you. Take us away so we can discover our true essence through this book that we're reading, the book of Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Sarah, and thanks to the team. And welcome everybody to the leadership platform. Let me share my slides. I see Evans Odom is here. Evans, welcome. And I want to invite all the others who have joined us to introduce yourself so we can know who we are talking to and we can announce you to the wide world. So this evening, as announced by Sarah, we're going to just do a quick overview of Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now, a guide to spiritual awareness. And this is a very interesting book. Now, at this point, if you're already connected, I just want you to imagine or to go into your mind, review yourself, and see if there is something that you keep doing that you wish to change, but you constantly come back to it and keep doing. You keep repeating the same thing, and sometimes you wish you could stop. You've told yourself a few times, this is something I have to stop, but you are not able to stop. Just go into your mind's memory or look at yourself. You don't have to go far. I'm sure it is at the surface. And if possible, just share in a few words. What is it that you keep doing and repeating that you've told yourself you want to stop, but you're not able to stop and you keep coming to it? Keep that in mind as we go ahead with the review of this book, because this is a very interesting book about awareness and your mind and time, and how you can make the best out of time, and how you can have peace within yourself. Now, when I was in the law school, one of my lecturers, I think she's now on the Supreme Court, she's a judge at the Supreme Court, she told us this story. I don't remember exactly the legal principle that he was trying to teach, but I remember the story very clearly. And this is a story, he says, there was a madman, as we call it here, somebody with mental issues who lived in Winneba. And from time to time, when you met him and you ask him, when people met him on the way, every morning he woke up, he will walk from Winneba to Winneba Junction. Those of you in the central region will probably know the distance. So this gentleman walks from Winneba to Winneba Junction every morning and back. In fact, every day he'll go back and come back. He goes and come back. He goes and come back. And when you met him and you greet him, "Good morning, Ejako, how are you?" He will say, "I am fine." But the only bad thing about madness is that every morning you have to walk from Winneba to Winneba Junction and go back. And every day you met him and you greeted him, he will respond, "I'm fine." The only bad thing about madness is that every morning you have to walk from Winneba to Winneba Junction and go back. Now, when I ask you to do the exercise and reflect on your life, I'm sure there's something you pointed at or something that came to you. I remember when I was in the law school again, every time there is a question in the class, I'll always be the first to raise my hand. And very often I would tell myself before I go to lectures that today I'm not going to raise my hand. I would let somebody else raise their hand. But before I realized, before the question comes, my hand was up. And I used to also ask so many questions. And sometimes I'll tell myself, today, when you go to class or lectures, just keep quiet. Don't ask any questions. But that lasts for a few moments. And I find myself asking questions. Now, what is all this about? We're going to learn about this book, The Power of Now, and I want you to keep these stories in mind as we go along. We'll have a brief about the author. We'll look at the power of the mind, its power and its limitations. Then we'll have a quick overview of the book, draw some lessons from the book, and we will conclude. So this book is written by Eckhart Tolle, who was born in Germany but studied in England and in the University of East London. That's where he graduated, and he worked in Cambridge. And over time, and you will see it in the book, the details of the experience he had, a strange experience which he didn't really know what was happening to him. And in that process came to a certain awareness of the being and how the mind works, and how he could now see everything around him in a different light. And that is what began his journey of researching into the power of now, into the human nature, into spirituality, and into happiness, peace, and all that. And he has since become a spiritual teacher who has been teaching and has done a lot of work, has books that have hit the best-selling records, and so on and so forth. And that is the author. You can read a bit more about him. He has videos, YouTube channels where he does a lot of series. He's currently quite old, but he's still doing teaching as a spiritual leader, if you want. He has written a few other books, and you can look out for some of them. Stillness Speak and the New Earth, Awakening Your Life's Purpose, and so on and so forth. All these are books that are very well recognized, and you can look for them. Now, let's come back to what the central theme of this book is, and it's about our mind. Now, our mind is a very powerful tool. In Stephen Covey's book, The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, he talks about the power, the tools of effectiveness, which basically is about the mind. And he says that there are 4 distinguishing features of every human being, and that these features, these characteristics, distinguishes the human being from any other creature. And those characteristics are the power of imagination, self-awareness, conscience, and willpower. So these 4 powers of imagination, Stephen Covey says, these are the products, the effective tools of the mind. And it is this power that distinguishes a human being from other creatures. In other words, if you took a dog cannot sit back and imagine and create something that doesn't exist, imagine it. But a human being can. And human beings have imagined things through science fiction, and through that have been able to create things to bring them into reality. Everything around us was first in the mind as an imagination. The chair you are sitting on, Zoom that we're using, the StreamYard that we are using today, all the social media tools were all once in the mind as an imagination, and somebody brought them to life. Then there is self-awareness, which is actually the important element of this book, which is your ability to sit back and to view your thoughts and examine your thoughts and see how they're doing. And in fact, that is the core of this book. So we're going to spend some time on self-awareness, because without self-awareness, you would behave in a certain way that may not be optimal. In fact, what will happen is that you'll be a parliamentarian called honorable, and you'll still fight in parliament in the full glare of all the cameras which are beaming you into the world. Without awareness, you will just fight, and then in the end, you go back and regret. And like one of the MPs says, he went home and his son was asking, but Daddy, why is it that the old men were fighting in parliament? Self-awareness, consciousness, and so on. The other one is conscience, which is the power to determine what is good and what is bad. And we as human beings have that power. We know it when it is right and what is wrong. That is where integrity comes in. Sometimes we just overwrite it and we go ahead. Our conscience tells us this is not right. When you're stealing from the state resources, when you have money to go and build a project to benefit the village, and you transfer that money to buy a house in Dubai, your mind, your consciousness, your conscience will tell you it's wrong, but you still do it. Of course, there are some people whose consciences are sealed and they don't feel anything. But as a human being, you have it. If you are there and your conscience is sealed, then you are moving into another creature. All right? Then there's the willpower. That is your ability to choose to act or not to act. All these are products of the mind, and they are powerful products of the mind that help us in so many ways. Now, so because of the power of the mind, great thinkers, like Solomon has said, as a man thinketh, so is he. And a great French philosopher says, I think, so I am. Philosophies first have come to think that you are your mind, that the way you think is the way you become. And so you are identical with your thoughts. Now, that is the philosophy that Eckhart Tolle is challenging in this book. That when you say my mind, my thoughts, that presupposes that the me and my thinking are different. And that goes to the power of self-awareness, because you can sit back and review your thoughts. So the me, the you, the true you is different from your thoughts. Your thoughts, according to Eckhart Tolle, as we will see, are a creation of your mind, which is the time of past to the future, the accumulation of your life experiences, which you have constructed to be you as your ego, the things that you attach yourself to. And that is where, according to Eckhart Tolle, the mind's dysfunction sets in. And we will look at it as we go along. Now, Buddha has been reported to say, all that we are is the result of our daily thoughts. So there again, emphasizing the power of the mind to create what seems to be you. And that is where this book is pointing us to go beyond your thoughts and to go to your essence of who you truly are as an agent of God. Now, when Buddha says, when you change your thinking, your behavior will change. So we respond. Our behavior is a reflection of our thoughts. And when we change your behavior, your habits change. And when you change your habit, your personality or your character will change. In other words, our thoughts form our behavior. And our behavior repeated over time become our habits. And our habits over time create our personality or our character, as people will see. And when we change our character, we change our destiny. In other words, our character repeated over time will determine who we become. So our thoughts result in our behavior, resulting in our habits, and our personality and destiny. So this is the thinking. And that personality is not always, we are not always comfortable with that personality that we have become as a result of the product of our thinking. And this book, Eckhart Tolle, is calling us to go beyond our thoughts and to go to our true essence and to develop a peace within us by understanding the nature of our thoughts. So let me say that the book is not an easy read. Okay, so I hope that this quick summary would enable you now when you take the book to understand, because there are some concepts that are a bit difficult to grasp and you have to read them over and over again. I find that it is it's easier, less challenging when you listen to the audio, because then it's like a discussion and you are able to grasp it. And when you go back and read, it helps. When you get the essence of the book, you see the power that the book is trying. There are 10 chapters, about 200 pages, and the 10 chapters focusing on you are not your mind. So you as the creature of God is part of God being. The Bible says you are created in the image of God. Your mind has created a certain personality, as we have seen, of you, and that personality is your ego, which is not you. That personality can be good or bad. You may like it or you may not like it. There's so many of us who don't like who we are, in quote, because we are looking at the attachments that our mind has created for us. And so we see ourselves as either failures, we see ourselves as unimportant, because our mind over our history has created. And this is what this book is trying to help you to break through the chapter on consciousness. Be aware of what your mind is talking about, what Stephen calls self-awareness, or being aware of your thoughts, of your emotions and things that is going on. This book helps you to go into that dimension. Then it talks about moving into the now, and we'll talk about the now shortly, because if you're able to understand how the mind is working, then you'll be able to break it and come into the now. And he says you realize that in the now you have no problem. It has a number of strategies that your mind used to move you away from the now, which is the now is the presence, which is your future. So he goes a bit into details about presence and how to be present at the now. And that requires awareness and exercise, and a number of exercises. We'll probably do that if we have some time. Now, he talks about the inner body. And those of us who read the Bible talks about the Bible talks about the inner man. The inner man, the inner body, is the creation of your thoughts that live within you. So renew the inner man, put on a new man, as the Bible will say. That's what Eckhart Tolle is talking about here, challenging us to renew our thinking and the thoughts that we have to create a different image of ourselves if we think that what we have is not. And that requires presence, it requires awareness. And he has what he called the unmanifested, which is your being. Your manifested part is your personality, your behavior that comes out that everybody sees. But you, the person that you truly, your nature as, is linked to the nature of God. It's linked to the totality of creation, and that your personality, as we see, your body as you see, is just a manifestation of a small aspect. It's just like an iceberg. You are just a small tip of the iceberg. Beneath it is the unmanifested being, which is more powerful. And it is through the now that you are able to go beyond. And he explains that beyond happiness and unhappiness, there is peace. Now, your mind's creation and thoughts will either give you happiness at a point in time or give you unhappiness at a point in time, depending upon how your mind is working. But he says you can go beyond that and get to a point where you have peace. Like Jesus will say, my peace I give unto you, not a peace of this world, but a peace eternal, the deepest sense of calmness that you can have. And no matter what is going on around you, like Jesus and his disciples in the boat, when there is turbulence around him, he was sleeping, and the disciples went to him and said, Lord, can't you see what is going on around us? The guy had peace. And that is what the power of now is about, to move you from all the turbulence of your mind that is creating the chaos in your head and causing you unhappiness, and moving you to the peace that surpasses all understanding. That is the essence of this book, and I want to encourage you. Now, the essence of, or the means to this peace is the principle that he calls surrender. And he, in the last chapter, he explains what surrender is to accept life situation. And he said, your life is different from your life situation. What is happening around you is your life situation, but that is not your life. But very often we call our life situations my life, my sickness, my problems. And that is my life. My life is all the trouble that I'm going through. And Eckhart Tolle says, no, that is not your life. Your life is your true essence, the image of God in you. And irrespective of what is happening to you today, which is your life situation, your essence doesn't change. And if you can understand this, you will have peace. So this is the quick overview of the books, and we're going to try to pick a few quick lessons. But before I go into the lessons, let me just clarify this concept, which is the essence also of which would enable you to understand the book. Because the clock time versus psychological time. Now, we know time on our clock. As I speak now, it is 7:32 p.m. This is clock time. We have created this for ourselves to be able to count the days and the weeks and so on. That is clock time. We need that to know when to start the leadership platform and when to close from the leadership platform. We have created that is clock time. Okay, so clock time is when we are taking our action. We need it for practical, productive purposes. We need today to come to work 8 hours and you do your work within that period. That is clock time. This is to help us to get grounded and it help us to plan. So that's the clock time. But there is psychological time. And psychological time is created in the mind. And that is the past, present, and the future. That concept of past, present, and the future is a creation of the mind. And that is psychological time. And sometimes in the book, he calls it the mind. Your mind is grappling with things of the past and grappling with things of the future. And that is where regret of the past exists, and then future anxieties. You're worried about what is going to happen tomorrow. And you think, oh, the future is bleak. The future is that. Oh, the good old days and all that. That is psychological time. And that is non-productive. According to this book, if you're living in psychological time, you're wasting your time, you're disturbing yourself, you're disturbing your peace. This is where emotions of anxiety, regret, and fearfulness is created within your mind, and you get confused and you get unhappy. Okay? This is where you're past on you're dwelling in the past on your failures, and you become obsessed with future successes and the things you want to achieve. So that is psychological time. When you're in psychological time, you're obsessed with the past, or you're worried about the past, you're dwelling on the past, and then obsessed with the future. And Eckhart Tolle says, this past and the future exists nowhere except in your mind. And that is what this book is trying to move away from, and says the solution to that is to focus on the now. And if you do, and you're successful in focusing on the now, you will move away from psychological time. Then you free yourself from the trappings, the enslavement of psychological time, which cause pain for you. And we will see what the pain consists of. All right. So you need to grasp this, because as it goes along. So this is what I've explained: the psychological time, the past, the present, which is the moment, the now, and the future. All right. So now, how does this psychological time affect us. The psychological time creates a dysfunction. It's a product of the dysfunction of the brain, where the brain has accumulated all the history of your past and is bringing them back to you today, and is constructing something in the future that doesn't exist, and is giving you anxiety, and you cannot sleep because you're thinking about something in the past, you're thinking about something in the future, and you wake up in the morning in the sleep, and your mind is roaming and going back to the problems you had in the office with your boss, with your wife, with your husband, or the challenges that you've had in business and so on and so forth. And he says that creates a body of pain for you. And this pain can be very, very dangerous. It starts from irritation, because you are irritated by some things that have happened in the past, and or impatience, because you have to get to something in the future that is not there. You are standing in a queue to get your ticket or to buy wache or whatever, and then somebody is asking for give me wache. No, change it to egg. No, I want talia. I don't want it. And you are standing there and you are impatient. Hey, guy, get out of that place and let me get. So you become impatient, and if you're not careful, that will cause you a somber mood. You're going to buy your wache, but before you get your wache, you're already upset, you are hurt, you are angry, causing rage, and it can cause depression for you. In fact, it can even cause you to create drama. Right in the queue to buy your wache, you start shouting on somebody, hey, my friend, why is it? If you can't buy, get off the road. Then the other person shouts back. This is exactly what happens in Parliament. What happened in Parliament recently, where the big men, the so-called honorables, are irritated because some people are going to be vected and they didn't want them to be vected, and they want it tomorrow, and others don't want it tomorrow, and causes drama and hatred. And people utter words in Parliament. They are even investigating today. Cause emotional drama, violence, as what happened, breaking tables. And this violence can go as far as stabbing. Recently, we know in a football match, somebody has been stabbed to death. This is a result of the pain that the mind has created, because my team is losing or is going to lose, and your mind has created that if you don't win, you are nothing. You have to win the league. Why is it that this team is going to score you and reduce you to a certain level? That's the construct of the mind. That is the ego. And that can cause tension and can cause illness within you. The fear of tomorrow, unease, worry, anxiety, all that can cause illness and pain physically, because the mind affects the subconscious, and the subconscious affect your emotion, and the emotions act on your body, and that is how you get a lot of diseases, ulcer, headaches, backaches, and different things. The cancers and this thing are all generated because of the pain that the mind has created for you as a result of psychological tie, worry of tomorrow and for tomorrow and yesterday, and focusing on the yesterday. So Eckhart Tolle's books is saying that to avoid all this, you have to understand that yesterday doesn't exist. And when you're going back and back and back, in fact, the things you were playing about in your head about yesterday, you are remembering them now. The things you are worried will happen tomorrow doesn't exist. You are worried about it now. And that now, as you sit here, there is no problem. You don't have any problem if you focus on now. And if you understand that now, this moment, as we speak now, just imagine yourself, as we speak now, Just stop a minute and think, what problems do you have now? I want you to just imagine now, what problems do you have? Now, if I ask you to write the problems you have, you're probably going to write things that have happened in the past or things that are going to happen. But as we speak right now, there's no problem. You don't have any issue. In fact, to understand that you don't have any problems, imagine that as at now, death or something very terrible, fire or something is happening to you. You forget about all the worries of yesterday, all your plans for today. If you were in a car and the car is going on a serious accident, you forget about all your thoughts of yesterday and your plans for tomorrow and focus on the immediate and the now. So this concept of now is actually endorsed by a number of spiritual masters. Starting from Jesus said, take no thought of tomorrow, for tomorrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Each day has enough trouble of itself. Nobody who puts his hand into the plow and looks back is fit for the kingdom of God. This is the exact concept. The Apostle Paul says, now is the time of God's favor. Now is the day of salvation. It's now. It's not yesterday. It's not tomorrow. Now. So with now, if you understand the power of now, you just be focused on now. And the Zen masters have a question that they ask. What at the moment is lacking? Just ask yourself, at the moment right now, what is lacking? And you focus on that, nothing is lacking. If you focus on tomorrow, maybe something is lacking. If you focus on yesterday, yes. But now, the moment, is nothing is happening. And they say, if not now, when? And the Sufis, which is a branch of Islam, also has the same concept. And the Sufi says that the Sufi is the son of time present. Past and future veils God from our sight. Burn up both of them with fire. That is what the Sufi poet says. So all these spiritual leaders affirm the necessity to focus on that now. And Master Eckhart also says, time is what keeps the light from reaching us. There is no greater obstacle to God than time. Here, time is psychological time. All right. So all these leaders, spiritual leaders, affirm the place of now and the power of now to take you out of all your psychological troubles, trauma, the body of pain that is eating you up and that is causing relationship problems for us, and so on and so forth. And so how do we use the power of now? How does it help us? What are the lessons that this book draws? And I'm going to take a few of them quickly. I see the time is running against me. All right. So lesson number one in the book, which you have to grasp, the mind is not you. That psychological mind, the thoughts that you have, is not you. So he says, learn to observe your thoughts and emotions without getting caught up in them. You are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are different from you. So understand that the thoughts that are going on in your mind that you think it's you is not you. That's the first thing. The second thing is that the present moment is all we have. Focus on being fully present in each moment rather than dwelling on the past and worrying about the future. So if you can just focus on the present now and try to be present, and there's a lot of exercises to help you to be present, you would free yourself of the psychological pain that your mind is putting you through. The present moment is all you ever have. Wherever you are, be there totally. In other words, when you are be here, present. Don't let your mind take you all over the place. And that will give you peace, because once your mind begins to take you to the future, to the past, you find that you begin to have headache. Whatever is happening right now is everything you have. What has happened in the past is gone. What is happening right now is all you have. The things you're talking about tomorrow, it hasn't happened. Why are you worried about tomorrow? And Jesus says, if you worry about tomorrow, will you be able to add one little hair to your hair? No. Next, whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it. And here it's trying to take us from being the victim. What the present moment, if you are able to accept the present moment, not that you chose it. Yes, bad things happen to us that we didn't cause. But he says to give yourself peace of mind. If you are able to accept it as if you chose it, it frees you of all the drama that you could cause. It frees you of the victim mentality where you are seeing yourself as a victim and somebody doing you in. And once you are able to accept that, then you can free your clock time to effectively use it to plan other things to deal with the situation. It says, so do not be concerned with the fruits of your action. Just give attention to your action. Whatever you're doing now, he says, just focus on that. You cannot control the results. So if you can just be content and focus on your action, that is it. Remember that every second of your day, you will find yourself savoring every little activity. Everything you're doing. When you're pasting, just focus on that and be present with that. When you're driving, be present with that. When you are eating, just focus and enjoy the fullness, the food. And sometimes you are eating good food, but your mind goes back to something and then you lose your appetite. Why? That is the mind. Leave the situation. Change it if you can, or accept it. All else is madness. Eckhart Tolle says, when there is a situation, I've talked about life situation, not your life, the things that are happening to you. And I have been using this for a very long time. I haven't read it like this. When something is happening to you and you don't like it, leave the situation. Leave it. But if you cannot leave it and you can change it, change it. But if you cannot leave it and you cannot change it, then he says, accept it. Any other thing, he says, is madness. Because you cannot leave it and you cannot change it. He's your father. He's a drunk. You cannot change him. You cannot have another father. You've tried to help him to be sober. You cannot. And then you're worried and you can't sleep and you are ashamed of yourself. It's madness. That is the psychological mind. That is the mind, the psychological type. That's the ego, which is eating you up. All right? So let us get that. Then he says stress is caused by being here and wanting to be there. So when you say you are stressed, you're stressed because you are here doing this right now, but you want to be there. You finish, or you are finishing one thing, you haven't finished. You are thinking of 9 other things that you have to do. That is how come you get stressed. Just do what you have now. Deal with it now, and it is. Worrying about what your boss is going to say, the outcome that is going to happen, is all going to eat you up, and it is a creation of the mind. If you reduce the present moment to a means to an end, the now will never be good enough. So the present moment is not a means to an end, it's an end in itself. Enjoy it. Enjoy what you have. Enjoy the moment. feel it, and then you'll be okay. You will not have anything. Waiting is a state of mind. So if you are in a queue and you feel that I'm keeping too long, yeah, it's 1 hour, but it's a state of mind. It's your mind that is keeping you. If you just accept it and say, when I get to my turn, I'll buy my watch and go away and relax at this moment and enjoy the smell of the watch and enjoy the sounds of the birds and enjoy the environment and look at the flowers until it gets to your turn. If you accept it, you will have peace and you go and enjoy your watch. That's it. And he says gratitude for the present moment is true prosperity. Accepting that what you have now is all you have and be thankful to God for it. He says that is prosperity. All right. So those are a few lessons, and let me take just 5 more minutes to share quickly how to overcome this psychological mind or type, this ego, which creates attachments and qualifications and money and wealth. And without that, you're nothing. These are all constructs of your mind, which makes you sad for not having a car. This afternoon, I was talking to a lady who uses an iPhone, and the iPhone has a problem. And to fix it is going to cost her 1,500. To buy a new one is going to cost her 4,500. She doesn't have either of them, and she's just worried. And I said, but I just saw a phone that you can get for 1,500, a new phone with all the. Says no, but it's an iPhone. She's attached to iPhone, and with that I have this and I have that and this and that, and that construct is eating her up because she needs an iPhone. How do you overcome this ego and psychological time that is eating us? I'm going to go through that very quickly. First, as we repeat, understand and accept that you have only now. Both past and present doesn't exist. Just understand that there is nothing called yesterday. There is nothing called tomorrow. Whatever you are thinking about for tomorrow, it's now. You are thinking about it now. Whatever you are worried about, you are hurt about yesterday, you are actually experiencing the hurt now, today. So yesterday doesn't exist. You only have now, either to experience again and again the hurt of yesterday and 3 years ago, or to be anxious about 10 years from now. You would experience that hurt and anxiety right now, today. There's nothing like that. If you understand that, it will help you. Understand that you are not your mind. We've said that. And learn to observe your mind and its activities. To be able to break the psychological time, you have to observe your mind. In fact, I've read this book before, and I'm reading it again for this exercise, and it helped me. I'm becoming even more present. In fact, I think I can separate myself from my mind, and every time the thoughts are coming and I'm beginning to catch it, and I say, look at my mind. It's beginning to give me yesterday pictures. It's beginning to create new pictures for tomorrow. Then I'll just observe, and immediately the thoughts stop. It just stops. You think about it. Okay? Now, the other thing is that we've talked about it. Accept the current situation, because when you accept the present moment, it enables you to diffuse any thoughts of the past and now. Do not be attached to your ego. Recognize that the ego's influence. Recognize your ego's influence and learn to detach yourself. What are the things that make you feel important? And without them, you're not important. That is your ego. Detach yourself from it. Then we talk about surrender. Yield to the natural flow of things. Let things happen. Things are happening. Now, surrender doesn't mean that you don't have to plan things and organize things. No. But at the moment, right now, in this instant, what is happening is happening. Just allow it and create a peace of mind to be able to think about what to do about the situation instead of getting worried and worked up. The other thing is body awareness, because your mind's conversations go through your subconscious mind and unconsciously affect your body and affect your behavior. So pay attention to your body, your physical sensations, your thoughts, the things you see, the five senses. Use them and feel your body, what's going on in your body. They are clues to what is going on in your mind. Okay? Meditation as a practice is key. And meditation simply means focusing on one thing at a time. Don't create any great humorous thing about meditation to worry you. It simply means focusing on one thing at a time. So if it is just as I speak, just focusing on my spectacles, focusing on my nose, focusing on my finger, just that, just watch my finger intently, you're meditating. Once you focus on just one thing, your thinking mind stops and just bring you to the present. All right? Your negative emotion arise from thought identification. We've talked about that. And so we'll move on. Now, we talk about the relationship. When you're in a relationship with somebody or you are with somebody, just be present. That is where charisma comes in, the way you make people feel when you are present. And we as coaches, it's a very key principle of coaching, presence. Being present with a person in front of you. All right, so those are some of the approaches that the book recommend, and some of the benefits that you have. When you are present, you have freedom from addiction and enslavement of your mind. If you understand this and you practice the power of now, you free yourself from the enslavement of the past and the entrapment of the future. Number two, it helps to dissolve the body pain. All the pain that we talked about, the irritation and these things. When you become now, all those irritation, and I've been using this week, this last 2 weeks, it's been very, very helpful. There's something that is happening in my life that normally I would have been irritated, agitated, but I can tell you, I'm just observing it and it's flow and it just dissolves the irritation and I get my calm. It's absolute bliss. The same thing that was giving me irritations, I just get that dissolved and I go on. It helps you to enjoy the now. Okay? Enjoy the now. Don't resist. Use it. And that is what irritation and all that comes because we are resisting the now. All right? And it also helps you to be more creative. In fact, studies upon study have said that great inventions come when people are calm and present, not when the mind is agitated. It is when you are calm and present and silent and deep down into the spirit. That is when inventions come, and that's the power of now. And finally, peace. The power of now moves you into a peaceful state. Now, those are some of the benefits, and this requires a lot of discipline. I have a few more slides, but I will end here, and then maybe in the discussions, I have some exercises that we can do to be able to practice the power of now. But I'm going to move to my last slide, my final word. The book, The Power of Now, is so powerful. Okay, the now resides in the understanding that every minute you spend worrying about the future or regretting the past is a minute lost. Because really, all you have to live in is the present, the now. So better adopt actionable strategies to start living every minute as it occurs. Now, And the final quote from Goethe, he says, time doesn't exist. What we refer to as past or future have no reality except in our own mental construct. The idea of time is a convention of thought and language, a social agreement. In truth, we only have the moment. The present moment is a powerful goddess by Goethe. And that, Sarah, is my quick summary and lessons from the power of now. And when we have in the discussion, we can try some exercises that will help us to be able to learn to be present. Thank you very, very much. And over to you, Joe Latte.
Thank you, Sam. That was really, really detailed summary. But I think before we look at the comments and the questions, we'll have a quick commercial break for us also to get back into our now. Over to you, Joy, if you're...
For over a decade, CTL Africa Leadership has been more than a service provider. We are your dedicated partner in leadership growth, specializing in leadership development, corporate governance, strategy, culture, change management, and customer service. We focus on relational skills and personal growth essentials for effective and sustainable leadership. Our approach blends masterclasses, mastermind groups, gamified learning, and executive coaching to create impactful and engaging programs. Introducing our 2025 Corporate Development Catalog. For all heads of organizations and HR leaders, call us now to request your copy today and take your organization to the next level in 2025.
Thank you so much. Welcome back. And Uncle Sam, this has been very, very deep. You know, I started reading the book and I was only able to get to chapter 6. So I'll continue. So if there any of our audience, you did not finish it, you still have time. We'll do it together. But thank you so much. You've really done what the reading that I have to do. So it's going to be easier. Great. So let's see some of the comments that are coming from our audience. It says, yes, we acknowledge everybody who is here. Because of time, I won't be able to announce you. Just look at Richard King saying, wow, the power of now is very deep, very practical. God bless you for sharing such insightful lessons. Okay, and then thank you very much. From Teristella. I've learned a lot. I don't see any questions yet. And then Foster Bediakun says, thank you for this presentation. I've been inspired. Yes, our inspirational teacher, that's how I call Sam, has really given us a lot. And if I don't see any questions, Sam, but before that, I will have a question to ask. So if we have to stay in the now, does it mean we do not need to plan? That is my question, because I love
All right.
planning.
All right. Yes. And Eckhart Tolle also addresses that question a bit more in detail. No. We have the clock time.
Mm-hmm.
So the clock time is supposed to help you to, put things in order. So you can plan what you want to do. But what he's saying is that don't allow that plan to take you away from the present moment. Because even the planning you are doing, when are you doing that planning? Now. Okay. So all the planning you can talk about, you can do it only now.
Yes,
When
but
will
I'm
you
thinking
execute?
about the future. I'm thinking
What
about the
will you
future.
execute? When will you execute that plan?
In the future.
the future doesn't exist. That plan you have can only be implemented from now to now to now to now to now to now. So the trap is that you allow the planning of the future to take away the beauty of the now. So it doesn't mean don't plan. You can say that, okay, in 10 years, I'm going to buy a car.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you allow that plan of buying a car in 10 years to take away your joy, and you are sleeping in the night and you woke up, 10 years is coming, oh, it's 4 years and I don't have a car. How am I going to get that car? Gee, if I don't get that car, all my friends are getting the car and it's getting to 10 years and I don't have a car. Now, that is the psychological ego, which is taking away the joy. Because you never know if the 10 years will arrive, whether you die or be dead or whatever. And the car can come before. So just allow things to go, to be. And that's it. So yes, by all means, plan and implement the plan within now and let it flow.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So the thing is that this is very deep, and I don't want us to miss out on the exercises because that will add more value. I see a lot of commendation. I'll read that quickly through, and then I think I'll invite you for us to do the exercise because that will be powerful takeaways for all of us. So Elvina says very insightful. Latte says, very insightful. Thank you so much, Uncle Sam. And Francisca says, this is an eye-opener. Thanks, Uncle Sam. So lots of thanks coming from the audience and the listeners. So let's do, I think, the exercises, which will really help us to ground all the lessons that you have shared with us. So we are ready if you are.
All right. Yeah. So at this point,
Yeah.
all right. So let's see. And I just at this moment I want you to just each one of us just take a few breath in,
Okay.
just in, and breathe out, in again and out. Now at this point, try to feel the energy in your hands. Just feel your hands. Let's focus and feel your hand. Now, if you can, just try to focus on your whole body. Start from your head. Just feel the energy in your head. Feel the energy down to your chest. Focus on your breathing. Feel the energy in your legs. Just focus on the energy in your legs. Now, try and listen to the silence around you. Just listen. There's noise, but within the noise, just try to clear out that noise and listen to the silence. You see, noise comes through the silence, just like light comes through darkness and objects in the space. Just listen to the silence. Just listen. If your attention drifts away, just bring it back to the silence. And now accept everything as it is now. Accept everything, the present. Just accept it. And just Allow yourself to be present. Don't think. Don't go thinking backwards, forward to the past and future. Just allow yourself to be present. If there are thoughts in your mind, just let them pass. Don't judge them. They will come. The mind will come. Be still and try to observe your mind. Just observe the thoughts that are coming. Now, just wait there as if you're waiting for somebody to come in. Wait for the next thought. Just stop there and see if the next thoughts will come. The next thoughts. What is coming into your mind? Just wait for it. If you're totally present, you will see that your mind is not bringing anything in, or maybe something coming. Now, if a thought comes into your mind, just observe the mind. As if it's a rabbit in a hole. Just observe and wait. What are the thoughts that come? Watch the next one. What next thought? Just wait for it and observe
Okay.
your mind. Now, return to the present moment and just answer this question. At this moment, right now, do you have any problems?
No.
All right. Can you live in the moment? Does the past exist right now? Do you see it? All right. Okay. So let's just come back and just come back to your presence and let's come. Now, this is one of the exercises that Eckhart Tolle encourages us to constantly do, to take our mind out of all the past and the future and to be present. There are quite a number of them as you go through the book. Okay? There is one that I've been practicing, which it says it helps to, in fact, even heal you. When you're going to sleep, just before you sleep, lie on your back and just do this same exercise. Just feel the energy from your head slowly. Just spend like 15 seconds on your head, on your face, on your neck, slowly on your chest. Just feel the energy, and as if you are scanning, like you're doing the scan through your head to your toe and scan back to your toe and scan back. Just feel what's going on and just be present. And when you feel a pain in any part of your body, just be present. Let your mind focus. Just be present there. Focus it a bit on there. And interestingly, you feel really relaxed and dissolve all the pain, because the pains are all coming from thoughts in your head, and you get a peace of mind. And so, Sarah, that's my presentation, and I hope it's been helpful. Let's see how our people experience the exercise. Give us your feedback in the chat, and let's see what people experienced, if you're able to do that.
All right. Thank you, Uncle Sam. This is really powerful. It really reminds me a little bit of what we also do in positive intelligence, trying to
Exactly.
control
Positive psychology.
psychology. Yes. Okay, great. So what we are getting, we've got Elvina who replied no. I think when you asked whether any thoughts are coming to her mind, so she
Yes.
replied no. And for
Yeah.
myself, when you said we should do that, no thoughts came because
Yeah.
I believe I was present, so no thoughts came. Thank
Exactly.
you. Yeah,
Yes.
and Kwame JB says he felt very calm, almost sleepy. He really
Ab-
felt relaxed. Yeah, thank you, Kwame JB.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then
Absolutely.
yeah,
That is very, 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 very true.
yeah.
When you meditate, when you focus, when you just be present, you feel calm because the thoughts are energy,
Mm,
and they just come and disrupt your peace. And that's what you say, beyond happiness and unhappiness, there's peace.
okay.
Yeah. And I see
El-
Elvina also says, I felt so refreshed
Mhm.
and relaxed doing the
During the
exercise.
exercise. Okay, wonderful. Thank you all. Keep your comments coming, and as you do so, no thoughts came for Francisca. No thoughts. Wonderful. You were all very present, and we want to acknowledge and commend you for taking the exercise seriously. Wonderful. So, as you put in the chat your thoughts, let's see what we have as announcements. Please keep it coming. So for next week, our episode will be episode number 199. Today was 198, and 199 will be Time with a CEO. And the CEO we're going to have is Rudolph Banks. Rudolph Banks will be with us next
And
week.
Rudolph Barnes is the CEO is an executive of the African Capacity Building Foundation, and
Mhm.
he'll be joining us from Nairobi, Kenya. And
Mhm.
so we want to encourage all of you to come and listen to his story and his life and what he's doing today, supporting leaders in Africa and beyond. So
Okay.
he has a very powerful story, and it will be good to share. So
Wonderful. Thank
yeah,
you. And the growth journey will start on the 18th, 10 days from now, 18th of February. And there are two cohorts that will be running. So save your slot, get your copy of the 15 Laws of Growth, and this will be a 10-week mastermind, which is fully virtual. So whether you are in Ghana or you are abroad, you can always join 90 minutes a week, like we are doing now. Concept 90 minutes for your personal and professional growth. Do we have copies of the laws of leadership? Laws of growth for
yes,
everybody. Yeah, everybody who will
yes,
be
yes.
joining
We
will have
have
the
we have copies for everybody who
yes.
register. If
Yeah.
you are
Okay.
outside Ghana, we can give you a soft copy. Um,
Excellent. Okay.
yeah,
That is once you commit and you pay
yes,
up, you will get your copy. Right. Even
yes,
if you don't have the full amount, reach out to CTL
yes.
for an arrangement. It is
Yeah, you can
possible.
pay during
Okay.
the period of 10 weeks. We can have an arrangement for you
Yeah.
to pay. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Excellent. So let's see if I have more comments. Yes, so you have in the chat box the link from CTL Africa and the leadership platform, which you can click on and reserve your spot for the loss of growth. Great. So Elvina is asking, how much does it cost to be part
A
of
growth
the
journey,
growth
a growth
journey
journey, I think is 2,000. Joy, it's 2,000, 2,000 for 10 weeks.
for Ghana?
Um, oh yeah, so
Okay. All
um,
right.
we are having a guided coaching on how to grow. And actually, this week we've had very, very interesting testimonials of alumni of the Growth Journey. Actually, yesterday, one lady called me, excited, and said she just wanted to thank me. She's just finished her master's with the East London University, and he says this is due to Growth Journey because as part of the program, they were all challenged to look at your next level. What is your next level and what do you need to do and so forth. And she decided during the project that she has put on her master's for a very long time. And he says it was tough, but each time she was going, she would remember the lessons in the growth journey, the intentionality, and then the perseverance, the consistency, all the lessons that we learn. He says that those
Yeah,
lessons
right.
help her to be able to go through. And she's just received her certificate and she's so excited. And she called me to just thank me. He says, this is the result of group journey. It's so powerful. It will help you to redefine yourself. So please register and let's learn together. All right.
Exactly. That is the greatest investment you can make in your life for 2025. Great.
Yes. And
Uncle
Sarah,
Sam.
we also have a catalog, training catalog
Yes.
for heads of HR. And
Mhm.
we want to encourage all heads of HR to get a copy of our training catalog. For those who want to develop the next level, we've put in together what we call the Step Up program for succession planning to help build your next level, get them ready for the for leadership. So those
Yeah.
programs are also available. You can go on our website and pick
Yeah.
a catalog and register for some of the courses that are coming up. And of
Excellent.
course, coaching is also available for those who are interested. Great. Thank you so much,
Yes,
Sarah.
Uncle Sam. Yes. So, what is your pattern shots? Do you have any pattern shots for us, or we are good now with the exercise that you've relaxed us to
All right.
really go and have a good night's sleep? Any pattern shots?
All right. So, Sarah, all I want to reiterate for all of us is that please go get the book and read. If you can get the audio, the audio I have is about 7 hours, which means
Mhm.
that you can listen to that even if you take an hour a day within a week, you will listen to the audio. Okay. But when you start listening, you can just do, I mean, it's so interesting. Then you can read and make more notes. The other thing is that Eckhart Tolle has videos also on YouTube, and so
Mhm.
you can tap in and listen to some of his presentations on the power of now, and try to put some of the exercises into practice, because it is the practice. It's not just the intellectual knowledge of the power of now. It's the practice of catching yourself thinking and just sitting back and looking at your thoughts and stop your thoughts. Yeah, it says don't argue with your thoughts. Just listen, just watch it, and then it dissolves away. The thoughts pass away. So stop, be present, watch your thoughts as they come in, and they will dissolve. And then you feel relaxed. You create more energy to be able to go. Focus on the now. Relax and surrender. Let things be. Don't be too agitated with the future. Where are you going? Your true essence is totally connected to God. Okay? You're in the nature of God. Nothing else that happens to you will change your nature. So there's no point actually running into the future, worrying about the future, or regretting. Everything that has happened in the past, your mind will make you regret and worry and so on and so forth. No. Stop it, watch him, don't judge him, let it pass. And you will find more refreshing and peaceful spirit within you. Sarah, that will be my parting remarks. Thank you very much to the
Excellent. Thank
team
you,
and everybody.
thank you, Uncle Sam. So, actually, all that Uncle Sam has taught us and Eckhart Tolle from for the reading of the book is that the past is only a memory, the future is only a projection, the only real moment is now. So, what is the time now? It is now. So, with that, we are signing off from the leadership platform, knowing that all we have is now. Until we meet you next week, we are signing off from the leadership platform. And tomorrow is Sunday, as Uncle Sam will say, find time to worship God if you are a Christian. It has been a pleasure being with all of you. So good night and see you next week. Bye-bye.
I am winning on all fronts limitlessly.
I have made tremendous improvement at work through delegating and empowering teams.
We started with the law of intentionality, which specifically makes it clear that growth cannot just happen. You have to be intentional about your growth.
CTO Africa Leadership brings you the Grow Journey, a series of masterclasses based on John C. Maxwell's book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. In this 10-week virtual growth accelerator, you will acquire the skills to thrive and flourish as you evolve into a more impactful and fulfilled individual. You will master the art of personal and professional development as you craft and execute your customized growth plan. Limited seats available. Register now for the next cohort.
Hey there, join the next cohort of CTL Ghana's growth journey.
The next cohort is coming on. Get involved and your life will never